Hey, my name's Eric. I'm making a game. Like many other people, I'm making a game, but you know what? Mine's better. Well, it's better for me. It might not be better for you. I'm tempted to say there's no other game like it, but no, it's not true. It's all relative. Another game I made, Draw It, is a lot like this game. But if there was any objective way to look at this game and compare it to all the other games, it would get a good uniqueness score, a really good uniqueness score. Okay, so let me show it to you. Let me demo it. Let me not talk about it. Let me just show it to you. This is a level I created last night. It's a level pretty deep into the game. I think at this point, level 32, level 33, something like that. And I had earlier said there's going to be 150 levels. I don't know why I say these things so finally, like I just know. I think it's actually streaming that makes me want to come to a end conclusion a little bit quicker. But I'm actually considering, does it really need 150 levels? Because there's some story pacing stuff too. And I do have an intent to break this out into multiple chapters and be somewhat episodic about it. So I don't know, maybe 100 levels, you know? Why did I say 150? I did use some kind of way to come up with that number, but there'll be between 50 and 150 levels. How about that? Something nice about 100, though. You broke the 3 digits, you know? 100, 100 just feels substantial when you say it. Portal 2 had 100 levels. Anyways, okay. You're controlling this little figure on the screen, and the first thing you might notice is there's a lot of stuff on the screen. The person you control is really small and tiny. I could show like a beautiful 3D model of the player, and you would just kind of wonder at all the great animations and stuff. Not really. I mean, I'm not up to AAA standards with any of my stuff. But the intent of this game is to show a lot of information to the player clearly. When you move, you are immediately put into another square. And even the animations that show your movement, they're like residual. As far as the game is concerned, as soon as you push a key to move west, you're there. And all the other trail and animation stuff is just an indicator of really where you've been, not where you're going. So it shows the movement, but after the fact. There's this thing you can do called flinging. Same concept. You're instantly there. The animation that you see is not of you moving to that point. It's showing where you've come from. So your eye is a little bit tricked by it, perhaps. The other thing that is actually moving is the camera. But you are there as soon as you issue the command. Nothing else is moving on the screen with you in this particular level. Other levels, yes. I should say independently of you. But if there is something moving independently of you, it pauses when you pause. So if there was some guy chasing me, on some levels there are, if I stop, he stops. If I move, he moves one step. Okay. This level, later on, will have some story to it. There's a guy here named Billy. Billy will say, "Follow me. This is the safe way to get to the exit." The exit is this big glowing thing up north. Not glowing, I don't know what it's doing, what the verb is. It's emitting. It's emitting. So he'd say, "Follow me this way. You definitely don't want to go the other way. This is the safe way. If you just stay on the path, you're fine. And it's a really boring way. It's just a twisty passage that just covers a lot of space, and he just kind of goes on about how great of a mentor he is to you and stuff like that if you walk that way. Now, if you want to go the more challenging way, you could drop down this chute here, and you're in this little area. Okay, and here's the first time that the player in this level progression sees axles. Axles work like this. They're like a little bit like turnstiles. I've been calling them axles, and the things on the edges of them spokes. I might end up using a different nomenclature. Okay, so you got to be on the side of the spoke that you want to push against to get it going, either clockwise or counterclockwise. And if something is in the 3 squares that make up the quadrant that the axle is moving through, it'll be blocked. So this guy, I can't push him clockwise or counterclockwise, I mean, because this spoke up here is blocking. If I come back this way, try to do a clockwise push, again it's blocked when it gets to here. Okay. This one is blocked down here by this pillar. Maybe I can push the other way. No, it's blocked up here by this guy. Alright, so the player keeps pushing around. Everything seems to be blocked. There's spikes. Can't travel through there. That would kill M. M is the player character. That one seems like it should be able to be pushable, but since you yourself are standing inside of the 3x3 quadrant, this is going to knock against you and it'll be blocked. But if you get on the other side, so here it might be a little too hard for a player just learning about axles, because they might be wondering, how do I get them to do anything all of them except for this one are blocked, can't be pushed. Well, the trick to this particular puzzle on this level is you want to go over the top of these spikes. How could you do that? If you come up here, that's a little loud, I'll turn it down a bit. Okay, come up here. This is just sort of almost a throwaway area. It just shows a little bit of background. And then there's a little room in here you can look at. It's just kind of a throwaway area, to be honest. I might put some kind of story thing here later on. Like an NPC that says something. Okay, so if you come up here, you can fling over the top, and suddenly you're in that quadrant. And then you can't push that way. You can push this way though. Spikes, by the way, don't stop these guys from turning. I tried to make a little gap underneath the spoke so it looks like it's plausible. It's a bit of a cheat because the spikes are up a little bit high compared to this gap under here, but maybe it makes sense. Let's hope it makes sense. Okay, so finally I can move something else. Can I move this guy? I can. Can I move it this way? No, I can't. Players should be getting used to what blocks an axle. What can I do with an axle at this point, right? Now, with that all entangled, you can do that. Tiny bit of a puzzle still remaining to get over to the stair, which, by the way, is the only place the player hasn't gone yet. That's why the player would seek it out, because they basically have gone through all the other exploration options. So this will take us back up. Before I do that, I'll show one other aspect of axles. This game is designed so that you should not have to ever restart a level, even if you screw up. If you die, it doesn't restart the level. It starts you back at the nearest, not the nearest, the last egg that you touched. So there was an egg up top, which is a place where you can be born from. And I came down here and just now touched this one. It says M on top. That means when I die, that's where I'm going to be reborn. The level doesn't restart. However, because it's possible to put these axles in positions that they can't be pushed back from, I'll give you one example. This guy here, when I came in, I pushed it there. Now I can't get to the other side to open it up. So because it's possible to do that, when you die, all the axles reset. Not the whole level. The whole level did not reset. Only the axles in the level. And most of the game elements have got some kind of feature like that. So if you can change the position of a block and maybe get it stuck in some place, if you destroy the block, it teleports back to a block pad. So yeah. So that gives you a little bit of freedom to just try things and not worry about the consequences. I'll go back through and solve this puzzle again. Except I forgot to do that one first. So I've got Billy, this guy right here, blocking this path, but if you had gone out this direction, you'd be treated to a pretty boring winding path. Oops. Sent myself all the way back down to the bottom. Okay, I don't need to do the little puzzle again. That's the level. That's the demo. Now I'm going to make another level. I'm just going to make a whole nother level. And it's going to be also about axles because I just barely introduced axles. Let me take a different scene that's got some different lighting and use that as the basis. So I'll take Quiet Park, just a little bit brighter. Go ahead and save it. It's 4:20 now. Instead of lighting up a big old blunt, I'm going to light up a whole new level. Okay. And I haven't fully decided on the concept for this level yet, so I'm just going to call it Axles 2. And I'll almost certainly rename it later. So this is just a copy of another level. I'm going to go ahead and delete all the objects in the level. And then all my decorations. Right. So on this one, I think maybe the concept is You know, I'm gonna say something that doesn't quite make sense to me yet. I want an axle level where the axles seem cleaner in appearance. The last one felt like there was a whole jumble of them down at the bottom. It felt a little bit gross to me. I'm picturing a very orderly looking level with axles in it. Because the axles, they're machine-like. They seem like their placement should be designed like a little bit better. So maybe it's a maze. It's a multi-state maze. Axles at different points. You kind of cross over the same points again as you go through it, but it's different because you've arranged other parts in the maze different ways, and it ultimately allows you to get through the whole thing. I do like the idea that you might have to go over the same part multiple times, but it's transformed by your previous action, so it's not really the same thing. All right. I think I might play with intersections a little bit. Might even be worth prefabbing if I can get some good intersection ideas, prefabbing them and reusing them different ways. I tend to not prefab different parts of levels because I've already got inside of Unity, I've got Pro Builder, which kind of lets me have maximum non-repetitive design because all my modeling's done inside of Unity, so it's not like I'm grabbing pre-made parts and plopping them down different ways. In a game like this, it kind of matters that you can do that because every square is important. So if I had the typical division of labor between a level creator, presumably me, and a 3D modeler, I would have, some kind of pre-made parts that drop in. I shouldn't act like it's so hopeless with that method, because you can still have plop down prefabs and gray boxing type stuff. But anyways, let's not act like I'm some kind of genius for figuring this little thing out. Okay, but let me play with intersections. Maybe there's nothing there, but this does feel like it's early days in my level design with axles, and a little bit of play could go a long way. Alright, so here's one type of idea. So, yeah. If you get like a corner like this, Now let's do some metal grid walls. Okay, so if you got this, it can make like a one-way passage kind of a thing. So if you came south, that would knock the door this way. Then it can't really go back unless you manage to come back around the other way. I'm also noticing that maybe it makes sense to think of like a grid where each section is like kind of evenly placed apart. I don't know if I want to go crazy and prefab it all. It just doesn't seem like that much work to place it in the first place. I like to just drop these down. It's not that hard. Okay. Let's get rid of this stuff. I'm just going to drop a bunch of axles down there. Like more than I probably need. And I'll end up coming up with some ideas for them. I know that it's good to have them spaced on a grid that's got spacing every placement of them of something every fifth square. But some of these nodes or grid points I want to have just walls at. I don't want every single point to have an axle. Okay. Okay, so I'll put some walls down in the other places. Oh, that's right. I'm going to do metal grid walls. Because I need a little variety in my design, in my aesthetics. Yeah. Kind of thinking, let's pull this out a little bit further. So I'd always say that I'm sorta. No, I am thinking that if I pull this out, then I'll have space for these guys to turn. So that's why I just did that. And similarly over here. All right. I kind of like the idea of constraining the whole thing to this kind of simple design, because it is an early axle level for the player, and I want them to get used to the axles without being too challenged by the overall puzzles in the level. Let's make a goal point. I think could be just the other side. Yeah, I'll do that for now. Alright, then let's do exterior walls. Too many monolithic objects will bite me in the ass. So I'm always trying to make a middle ground between a bunch of tiny game objects in meshes and super monolithic mega objects, which are very cumbersome. The first one's bad for performance and light seams, and the second one, the monolithy, is bad for editing levels flexibly. Oh, almost undid that spacing thing. Let's not do that. Yeah, I screwed it up on the other side. Oops. Okay. All right, redo that one. can just, yeah, let's do that instead. Okay. All right, and let's do the other side. So one thing you never want is these things where it's only a single thin edge that connects between two surfaces like that, because then light will shine through and it'll look bad. So I'll fix that floor so it comes out underneath the walls in just a second. Oh yeah, now I can start thinking about puzzles. West and east. I might even just try dropping a bunch of stuff down to start and seeing what that feels like. It's a nice thing with these game elements so far. Actually, I don't know if axles fit into this category. Is I often can just drop a whole bunch of crap down and then work it into a puzzle. I'm not sure if axles will be like that. But so far, all the other game elements I've created have been like that. Alright, let me think about this a little bit. You could just kind of smash up this way. Actually, you can't get past this until that's moved. I don't know. It might work out. It might sort of be a puzzle without it trying to be designed as a puzzle yet. So let's see how it goes. I don't know axles well enough yet, even though I've spent so many hours writing the code for them that I can predict how to make good puzzles out of them. So it's a learning experience for me. I'm noticing that if I put spokes on 3 sides, it means you gotta be on this side to move it. Because if you're in this interior corner, it'll always block. So if I want to kind of enforce that only one of these is going to be the one that you can pass through, I could do something like make that go like that way, and then you have to use this to get past this part, because these guys, they won't be rotatable from the south edges. You have to be on this side if you want to rotate them. Let me just play through that, see what it's like. Yeah, it's pretty easy. So clearly, that's not enough of a puzzle on its own. It's kind of fun to mess around inside of. So things I could do to make this harder. I could put blocks in it and have some gold to move the blocks through the maze. I could put an enemy in it. I think it's too early for that though. The enemy would be very annoying, and you're still learning how these things work. I could bring out the thing where you can walk on top of the spokes, which is really cool. I don't want to waste it. It's a nice moment when you've got it. So if I was gonna do that, I'd say let's put a bonus somewhere in the maze, and let's make it hard to make a path to it. And also get out of the maze. That wouldn't be bad, because we could do something like, you made it to the maze, there's the exit. Oh, that's it, that was kind of easy. You want to go back for the bonus? Oh, then it gets hard. Then we're going to make it hard for you. lots of ways to get to the maze. If there's only one way or a limited number of ways to get to the bonus, that would be ideal. Okay, so what is kind of hard to get to? I have to have something connected all the way from the end. Let's start with, let's say the route that you go through begins over here. Like you gotta go to this spot, we'll say. We'll have an entrance way over here. I don't know. I feel like I want the bonus to be right in the middle. That feels like that's the fun place for it to be, or the dramatic place for it to be. It's right there in the middle. But there's so many ways to get to the middle. It's like too many ways. I mean, I could make the way through the maze easier. Or I should say I could make the way to the bonus harder by making there be less of these guys. Less of the spokes, which would make them going through the maze initially easier. So, for example, if I take out a spoke here, and I take out a spoke here, the other thing is I can put spikes on one side to make it harder to push things, or impossible to push things in one direction. I think that might be a better choice. Okay. So here's a place where, oh, it's wide open, but you can't go through because there's spikes there. I can also make this side pretty much unpushable. I'm putting spikes in front of it. There we go. So then, just kind of working backwards, my idea is make it so this has to be turned this way. Like this to have to be turned up that way. So in order to do that, I need something to go. Let me see. Where's my entry point? We could say that it is right here. And you could initially come this way, but if you haven't turned it So it faces this way. Can't go anywhere. Let's see. Then you want... Boy, it's a little hard to make these. Maybe I'll get better at it. So you want this to turn that way, then you just come down. Because if you want, I want this guy to have to be turned that way. Except that you could leave that there and just come down and knock this around. So maybe I'll make it so that spikes don't let you turn this guy. That one's unpushable. So it sort of serves as a red herring of sorts. Then you say, okay, I'll come down, I'll push this guy into place. But it might be nice to have that operation only be available to you by going back around. So if I flip this and say this is going to be a north spoke, then that means if the player's up here, they just got to go all the way back down around and kind of manipulate it from this side. So that means this will turn this direction. This guy, you come up top over here, knock it around this way. Then you're good, but a little too quickly actually. Let's yeah, because I put this up here. Gosh, forget what I'm doing. So that would be too easy because this is already in place. You'd only have to move this and you'd be able to get to here, and that's too easy. Things are hard to make. All right. So if I force the solution to require coming down this way, that could be interesting. That would mean making this one so it's no longer a good option. Look for that. Yeah, I don't mind this being a good red herring by having it initially point right to the present. But there should be like no way to get down here if I do that. So for that, take away the south spoke, make this be the east spoke. Put some spikes here so you can't keep pushing it clockwise. So you only be able to flip it this way or back the other way like that. Alright, so by putting these guys here, it means I can only flip it this way or the other way. One time, I can't keep on pushing it. Okay, so will that be enough to keep the player from going off this way and getting down there? I could knock it one over here and move this to face up that direction. So this makes it so it can only go here or here. I've almost got it pretty well locked off. Get rid of the north one, that means you can't go up that way. I could go choo, 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 and then you could walk down this way. Actually, I don't know if I needed to get rid of that north spoke. Because if this is up here, you can't get to it. If it's up the other way, you can't get to this. So that's pretty good. Okay, coming back down this way. You can't move this. You could walk out to here. You could knock this up that way and get down. Down there, unless I want to make it a little bit harder. Let's make it a little bit harder. Okay, then you have to manipulate this guy. Leave that where it's at. Basically, you want it in the position it's at now. And you come up this way and around. That's pretty good. That makes you walk all over the place. Let me just try that, see what that's like. Pretty easy to get to the end. I might look into making that slightly harder. I am liking the manipulations. Alright, so if I come up top, yeah, I like that me moving this in the correct position makes it so if I want to go this way, oh, I just messed it up. There's a fair amount of backtracking, which isn't bad. It's good, actually. could make this a little harder with some spikes. I think this is going to be a fun puzzle for people. Okay, feels like it ought to be a little harder. So let me think about making the initial travel through more difficult. I think the basic concept here is, okay, you've got all kinds of paths to get through to the end. Let's narrow them down. So yeah, you can push these things around, but there'll be spikes in the way, so therefore you can't go that way, stuff like that. If I put this here, it kind of shuts off this route, which I like. Well, in order to keep shutting it off, I would have to do this. Okay, so you could go through that way. Would you be able to get through? Up here you could. I could make it so that you can only go through this way. That would be kind of an interesting dead end, perhaps. Man, I used 2 hedge wards in that. Kind of an interesting dead end. And then I had to add another one at the end, perhaps. Do I have no confidence in my statements? Is that what's going on? Okay, so this sort of routes you up that way, and then you go here. You can't push past that. Okay. So this whole section this way should just be dead ends. This other way you go through, you can push that way, push that way. This is interesting because I can say, yeah, go ahead, you can push on it, you can move it the other direction if you want, but you can't keep going and walk through. Does that do anything useful though? Yeah, because you could knock this guy in this direction and walk around the edge over here. Come back around here. Push this that way. Push it again. Push it again. I've lost track though. In order for that to be valuable, I think I need this to be able to push that way. Okay, let me try that. Okay, try it. So I can still just walk around that and do this. So this is actually fully manipulatable. If I didn't want that possibility, I could have a wall come out to here. Let me verify that it's a waste of time to go up in this direction. No, you can get through. So I think more spikes. More spikes here. Once you're up here, it's nothing. Okay. Let's add them in. If I know I need them, I'll do it real fast because this level loads and restarts fast. Not getting through there. This is good. Can't get through here. I can push that way, but I can't get through. I can come through this way. And then I'm through. That's not too hard. It's not too hard. There's a little bit to it, but you can think it's not too hard. Feels a little light on the difficulty, but I don't want this to be a hard level. I want it to be fun. I want the player to get used to pushing these things around and what the limitations are, things like that. Okay. As for the puzzle, the bonus puzzle to get the present, let's see how hard that is to set up, or if it's still possible. Feels like I screwed something up, maybe? Oh no, Let's see. This guy. Wow, shit. Huh. So I need to go through this way. I might have lucked into a really good puzzle. That was actually fairly difficult to set up. Oh. But it just... Oh, it's got some nice little things you gotta do. This is gonna be a good one. Okay. Got myself a puzzle. Now it's time to tighten up the level. Well, I don't have to tighten up the puzzle. Now it's just down to kind of it's like casing, what I call casing, where you put nice walls around rooms to define their structure better. And then we go on to aesthetics and lighting. Yeah. I think I want all the ones that are out in the middle to have floor squares. They're all reachable. These guys along the edge here, I can... Yeah, they don't all have to be anything. Okay, so let's take these. Take the tops. Oh, can you let me do another one? Okay, cool. Screw it, I'm gonna do not so many at one time. Okay, then let's throw some more metal walls on top. Let's see, metal grid walls. I've got all these panels I made earlier. I think they look pretty good. All right. Three by six. What else? Is there another 3x6? Is that the only one? I guess that's the only one with 3x6. So let's do repeats on those. We'll get lighting seams. We might anyways. That kind of looks the same as 2x6e. Yeah, I got a duplicate. Get rid of that one. Bugasevi. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I just made a good puzzle. I'm happy. How's stuff going with you? Yeah, are you doing a jam with a team or just solo? Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah. I think that's smart. Like some people kind of beat themselves over the head when they're kind of early in development, and they keep on like coming up with some big project that they want to finish, and then like they might as well just make a bunch of prototypes or kind of throwaway ideas, or it makes sense to use that mode. Yeah, it makes sense. I've never tried mobile development with Unity. I have no idea what it's like. I always find mobile development in general a little bit cumbersome compared to desktop. I think it's kind of weird that I'm coming back to this same set of prefabs. I think you were watching me mess around with the same sort of level style last time. You joined, I was making another level, I used these same guys. Yeah, mobile's gotten better too. Like it used to be such a pain in the ass to do Android or iOS development, or if you want to go back earlier. Oh, so they just make you look like a spammer with the do. Oh, 20 messages. Yeah. Woo. here, I think. Let's do a bunch of skinny panels facing inward. I think that'll look cool. Yeah, go up another level. Fill in these corners so light doesn't show through that crack. So let me just get a sense of how high up I need to go with all this stuff. Alright, that suits me. Yeah, instead of doing lights all the way to the top, I might switch to a different wall texture and saddest kitty. This puzzle was hard enough that I forgot the solution. Let me see. How did I get through before? Can't be off to the right. Yeah, it was like that. That gets you to the level exit, and you've got the problem of getting back to the bonus present in the middle, but I know that works. So let's finish up the walls. I think I can bring all this stuff up about to here and be good. Okay, let me see if I got the height right. Let's get the height right. I should have an exit out over there, so let's make the exit next. All right. Okay. Exit, exit, exit. Always looks a little plain to just have it in the middle of a floor like that. So let's make pedestal. Yeah. All right, let's redo that. Symmetry. Is symmetry some kind of psychological crutch for me? Quite possibly. You tell yourself you're making something that has symmetry, and that's like a good thing, but maybe it's not. wish I could warn people that I was going to sneeze without stopping my sneeze. I think there was some part of me that was like, somebody's listening to me. I don't want to sneeze in an unprovoked way at them, in an unannounced way, and it seems rude. But then me thinking about that caused me not to sneeze, which was very unsatisfying. Alright, so that's a worthy pedestal, I feel. So you look like you've actually gotten to something important. Okay, let's close off the rest of these walls. It's interesting to me that about maybe half the time is making the puzzle and the other half is just aesthetics. I'm sure if it was like some kind of beautiful AAA thing, like I don't know, I was just watching Demon Souls, this remake. If it was that kind of game, like, it would be a lot more that was about aesthetics than game. But what I'm used to from earlier days making puzzles is something like 95% of it's puzzle, and then you might spend 5% on aesthetics. So here I'm spending quite a bit of time just trying to make the level look sort of nice. Double A nice. Indie nice. Is that? No, that's not set right. Okay, let's just pull this out instead. Trying to avoid a light crack. So if I just pull this out under the wall, I will not have a light crack. Okay, so that needs to go up quite a bit further because of it's the place where you exit, so you'll fly up to maybe this high. So I'll go ahead and I'll build out the exit. So I can see there's a little, what's the word? There are goals that must be accomplished in the geometry that are non-negotiable around this level exit, whereas the rest of the decoration out here with the walls is pretty flexible. So I need to close off this area better. Make the exit ascension chamber go up high. Then I'll see where I'm at with the rest of the level. I do like the idea of these things stretching up an extra story, I guess you might call it. So let's do that. to prove that I'm not a slave to symmetry, I won't make that one go up. Oh, but in a way, there is symmetry, because over here I'm missing a column. Okay. Let's go do something more interesting. Pull that guy that way. And then let's pull it out. There. It's also going to fix lighting seams for me. Seems fine. I'll pull down on the other side too. I can just make a kind of a ribbed motif inside of the exit chamber. Right. Okay, I think I can go back to the exit chamber, finish building that out. Oh man, this smaller increment snapping is a pain in the ass. Okay, I should switch back and forth between the two. So let's go do a little extrusion there. Okay, there we go. Okay. So this will end up doing some Z fighting nonsense. Let's get. This isn't so bad. Okay, there's one kind of wasted surface over there. No big deal. It's not that big a deal. Okay, let's see. What else? What else? So for the exit, I think let's alternate different textures. Put in scenic wall or brushed metal. I don't know. What will that look like? Let's get coarser snapping back. So I'm wondering, do I want to fill in with this up top? I think I probably do. So if that's the case, let me make it into one game object. Yeah, I might get a lighting scene there, I'll see. So unpredictable. But this should take me well above the camera. There, That looks different than the other one. It's weird how I just see things and then I just want them to exist. It's pretty nice, actually. I'm glad it feels that way to me. But I'm seeing these guys repeating. And they just go behind and they repeat. Should I keep it going? How much will I actually be able to see? So over here, you come this way. You won't be able to see that much. So 3 is the max I want it to. You might not be able to see the third one. So I'll leave it at 3. Okay, now let's keep this guy going out. Got a similar thing to do on the other side. I also wanted to inset these guys a bit to make it look more interesting. Oh, I gotta switch to That seems pretty good. Let's fill this in a little bit so you don't see the external floor ground thing. Okay, metal grid, metal grid. Fill in over here in a similar fashion. Whoa, what am I looking at? Ah, stupid snapping. Always getting burnt on the snaps. Yeah. Okay. Duplicate, repeat. Kachunka. Yeah, so that seems fine. Let's get the gray wall on the other side. to inset this like the other side. And this is going to be peeking through. I can definitely see that. Let's just have there be something to look at. Edit. Did want this to be out for this, but not. Maybe pull this guy into here and pick both of these guys. Scoot them in and just get the one on the left, pull that out to get rid of the light crack. Okay. And also let's get rid of this script so I can decorate this manually. Let's take all the stairs. Change them so they've all got this metal grid wall instead of the bath tile wall. Let's take a look at floors. So I've got a script that automatically changes textures, but it always uses the same textures, and I want to use this metal grid style instead. And so I'm just fixing that up. I do think I'd like a different texture than this gray here. That might be kind of easy too. It's not the texture. The texture's fine. It's just the lightness of it. When you also have to look at these things, which are, they're the same texture as that. That's the issue. Brushed metal, they're the same. So I want to do something different with those. Let's go to my materials. Let's duplicate this. Let's call it dark brushed metal. And I'll change to albedo. Now let's just set one of them just to see what it looks like. I can use lighting in here too if I want tints, so I think I'll keep it neutral. It's a little bit darker now, so that will make it look different than these guys down here. Alright, so that means I should fix the rest of scenic walls. For these, I think I can just extrude them way the fuck down there. Yeah. I mean, that's probably why I could see them in the first place, because I just hadn't extruded them properly. Okay. Yeah. Alright. Now I can finish up the exit chamber. And you can't really see the top of this from down in that level, but you'll be able to see it on the way up. So I want it to look like a properly architected gateway. I don't want it to look junky. What does that look like? Yeah, it's okay. Okay. And this side, we're going to pull in a little bit to make it look more interesting. Whoa. I think I messed up the snap there. I want to do 0.2, not 0.1. Go back to coarse snapping. How much? Not too much further. So I was gonna do something kind of cool, but I'm already fading out at this point, so I don't want to waste my time making something really super cool. Probably pretty close to the edge of the farthest you can ascend. All right. Then decorations. Okay, and let's set the operation zone for applying decorations. Go find the corners of things that are furthest out, because I'll set a bounds around the entire area that they cover. All right. Definitely some of the ones up here are wasteful, but it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. It's alright. Oh, that's a nice little bonus. Get the descender going through. Like somebody drilled a hole through it. Yeah, it looks kind of good. Yeah, I like that. Alright, let's take a look, see what it looks like. Axle. Put those back on. Hey, put that back on. I think the ground I can just delete. Should not be visible. I can see through. Maybe I should put that ground back. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put that ground back. Or I could set the background to something like black. I think I'll put the ground back. In fact, before I get going much further, let me see. If I unplay, if I do undo, there we go. I can also throw a building off to the west as well. Needs to go up a little higher, maybe. I can let it show through. Okay, there I'm good. There I'm showing. I'll let it show through, it's not bad. It seems like all the tops of these should be the light green tile instead of the light blue. Okay, that's a few things to change. Okay, what was the first thing? Oh, that looks like garbage, but you'll never see it. Okay. Oh, I was thinking about putting a building over here, that's right. only thing is, I don't know that it's matching the palette very well. I don't want to retexture this whole thing. Maybe... That's kind of interesting. I'm going to just tuck that underneath so you've got something else to look at. Alright. Okay, I could keep that. Okay, and then... do I want to go up higher here? Don't need to. But let's throw a low detail building out over the corner. Inside of it, it's low detail, but it's still super big. Fix the floors. Okay. Now, lighting. In general, it feels like it should be darker. So let's take a look at lighting. More of a sunset type of a feel out there. And when it gets a little bit dark, then it's nicer to bring in interior lights. This one I'm inclined to point out the window pretty strongly. Yeah, I like that. Alright, let's get a few spots in here, or points, I think. M should be starting right next to the egg, not back from it. Pretty close to being done with this. Yeah. I know it's possible, but it is proper hard. I just made this too. It should be fresh in my head. It is hard to know if I put some part of this in an insolvable state. Well, you can see that won't work. Fuck. Okay. I know it's solvable because I did not change it. I can get back in to the right side if I want. So let's assume I need to do that. This is a good puzzle. It's got that "this is impossible" and then you figure it out thing to it. It's got that. It's a good intermediate puzzle. Because you can kind of fidget around and explore possibilities and you'll get it. But there are points where it's like, I don't know. It's got, yeah, it's a good one. All right, let's check out the Ascension to make sure it doesn't look bad. Cool. That one's done, and that one took me about 3 hours. Not bad. Not bad. What's all this about? Oh, okay. Let's unpack those so they don't show up as red. Let's set the thumbnail cam. It's kind of fun to just show it way high up. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna rename this. So it was Axles 2. Let's call it something better. Rotarinth. Pre-process again to get all the right files created with the new name. And let's add Rotarinth. Okay. Let me go to the level selector. Add one more, number 34, to the hallway. And then we go and levels JSON. I'm just going to call this windings. Wounded winding sounds too, it's cumbersome. Okay. I gotta stop the stream here because this is a victory point. But let me, before I do that, look at my giant collection of levels. Oh, the gap. Looks like I overwrote something. Or more likely, no, I gotta fix the gap. I'll do that before I stop the stream. Alright, let me see what happened with the gap. Before that, I would like to check out the new thumbnail. So I'll use my little cheat key to get past this level fast. Rotarinth. Yeah, that's a good thumb. Let's see if the gap is really screwed up like I think it is. And if it is, then I just need to go back in time with get. No, it's not screwed up. Yay. So I'll probably just need to do the thumbnail, but let me get in there, make sure it's not screwed up. Looking good. Editor, thumbnail cam. Cool. Pre-processed to get a new thumbnail. And then let's go check it out, see if it's still screwed up or if I fixed it. Fixed. Cool. I also want the top speed on the level selector to be faster. Now that I've got so many scenes, it just seems like I ought to be able to really speed up on it. So let's Hallway selector, that's it. Top speed, let's say we can go up a lot fast. Let's try that. Probably gonna be fast enough. Although I suspect that the acceleration is not letting it to top speed. So let me just go 106 just to make it crazy fucking fast. And if I can't get up to too fast, then I'll know the acceleration is getting capped in some way. Yeah. It's not bad. It's not hard to select things. I think there still is some kind of cap that's getting put on it. But it really feels good right now, so do I want to chase after too far just so I know I found the exact right point? Yes. Okay, let me just write a note. 1.9 was nice. Let's go up to 3. I just want to know that I can make it stupid, and then I can pull back from stupid to make sure that I found the sweet spot, the true sweet spot. I haven't made it stupid yet, though. That's the thing. This feels pretty good. Okay, so imagine that I want to get to the gap. Let's look for the gap. Okay, I will say one bad thing about the new speed. It's hard to browse with it. So it kind of forces you into one of two modes. Light tapping to get what you want, or it feels close. So that means that I didn't get to the stupid part, but I got past the optimal part, so I can go back a little bit and probably find the sweet spot. So we'll say 2.5. 3, a little too far. I don't think, let me just write a note. I don't think it gets up to this speed. Not sure why. So that'll just clue me in next time I feel like tweaking with this. If I set this higher, I probably won't get any effect. Okay, so cool. I'm going to end the session right here. Stopping the stream. Stopping the stream. Victory. Stopping the stream.